What is up, everybody? Mark on the mic. Across from me, Mr. Ryan Muckenhern. And also across from me, Mr. Rob Morrell from our new product development team. And this is a new product alert, new products alert, Ryan.
Sounds, lights.
Yeah, those. Rob, got some cool ones here. Yeah. Ryan, you and I were doing a little bit of pistol shooting the other day.
A little bit.
With two of these on the pistols that we were shooting. They performed flawlessly. Really enjoyed it. Rob, let's tell us what we have on the table here, and maybe we'll start with these guys and then transition to the ones that Ryan and I shot the other day.
Sure. Well, I think people will be very happy to hear that we have our first enclosed pistol red dots. It was a little bit of a tease. Our first enclosed red dot earlier this year was of the shotgun variety. With the,
I thought you were talking about the catalog picture leak.
Oh, that's what I thought he was talking about too. We had a couple.
Well, if you're paying attention, I guess you would have seen the foreshadowing. A lot of people have been asking for these, so I'm very, very happy to say that we've released these now at the time of this airing, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So we've got two different models, two different families essentially of product at different price points. So on the right here, camera right, is the Venom enclosed pistol red dot. And then closer to Mark here on the left are the two Defender enclosed models, both the CCW and the ST. So as you know, we launched the open ones a little while ago. We've got the CCW, the ST, and the XL. Window size getting bigger as you go through that those three models. So similar story here with the Defender series with the CCW and ST, just enclosed, and some extra features as well compared to the open models.
Rob, for folks out there that are saying to themselves, well, what's the diff?
Yeah.
What's the diff between an open and closed system?
Good question. The main difference is the emitter. So the light source, the LED, is enclosed inside of a structure. So where on the previous Defender, CCW, ST, and XL, that emitter and the cavity kind of holding it was open to the outside. So, we've heard from people that, hey, I'd really like to have that a bit more protected to either make it easier to clean or prevent things getting in front of the emitter. Less so on the water, but more on lint if you're carrying it every day, or maybe dirt or mud or something like that. So this is something we've been working on for a bit, and we take our time in developing the products, making sure they're right when they hit the market. And so we've been hearing this feedback for a while. Whenever I've kind of done a shallow dive into the comment section and I see people saying, "Why don't you have an enclosed red dot?" I scream back at the phone and say, "We're working on it." But of course, I'm not going to comment on that.
Just hold on, damn it.
So we've got kind of two different product families here. The Venom is going to be a lower entry price point. This is going to retail around $199, so it'll be a great affordable option. Delta Point Pro footprint. It's going to come in a 3 and a 6 MOA emitter or for reticle. Difference from these compared to the open models is the battery is going to be on the right side. You'll be able to get to those very easily. You could with the other ones as well, but this will be right on the outside. And then
still incredibly sleek, though.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I immediately noticed. I'm like, oh, wow, the battery is on the right. It's easy to access, but it's super clean. It's not obtrusive.
Yep.
Really nice design there.
Thank you. Yeah, we didn't want to add a bunch of knurling to make it easy to grip onto because, we realize as people are carrying, if somebody's right-handed, this is, and they're carrying appendix or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever, this is going to be on the outside most surface. So we wanted to make the battery compartment kind of as smooth as possible. Mm-hmm. So the trade-off there is you probably will need a tool, either a casing or the provided tool or something else that you have laying around to open it. The great news is the battery life on all these is pretty stellar, so you shouldn't be changing the battery very often. Just like with the open Defenders, these will all have motion activation, and they'll have a 10-minute kind of sleep time that, again, will wake right back up as soon as it's moving. And this similar technology to the open models where you really can't sneak up on this to have it not wake up. It's pretty sensitive.
I've never thought about it that way.
Yep. So it'll be on and ready when you need it. And if it's just, sitting in the safe or, on your bedside table or whatever, it should go to sleep and be sleeping with you and ready for action when you're ready. So
on, off, dot intensity, on the top.
Yeah. So difference for the Venom and the Defender. On the top of the Venom, you've got your intensity adjustments, so your up and down brightness buttons. On the Defenders, you've got a solar panel with buttons on the left side. And we did a lot of testing on these to make sure these weren't going to be inadvertently pressed when they're in the holster or anything else like that. So you should feel confident in that. The Venom will be nice with the top buttons. If you're running maybe like a 45 offset dot, you can be easy to get to those buttons. Or just if you want to have the ability of adjusting that brightness when it's inside your holster, you'll be able to get to those with them being on the top, whereas these will be a little bit more protected, obviously on the left side of the sight there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, the Venom, the price point is really incredible for what you're getting with this unit.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you get a lot for it. So obviously it's enclosed. You get an aspherical lens, which is going to do a great job correcting both the dots, so you have a nice round dot, as well as making sure that there's low distortion in the target scene when you're looking at that. So you don't have any distracting things going on with the scene kind of warping or shifting or things like that. It's a 6061 aluminum body. That's how we were able to keep the cost down a little bit compared to the Defender. But you get a lot of the same, niceties, I guess, with this. You get a kind of a rubber cover for it if you want. You get all the screws that we've included in the Defenders, so you should be able to mount it to almost any pistol. And some differences, you won't get an included Picatinny mount. You also won't get an included Glock MOS plate on this one. But those are some things we did to kind of keep the cost down a little bit more. And yeah, I think at $199 we wanted to have something that was priced very competitively in the market. Just kind of have a no frills, like really solid offering for people to go with if they wanted to. And I hope that we achieve that with this one. I think it's going to do well. I think people will like it.
I think it'll be a home run. I really do.
That's awesome.
I learned with the original Strike Fire 2 not to let the price dictate your perception of the performance of an optic.
Still ticking.
I
have a Strike Fire 1.
Ooh, okay.
Still on its original battery.
Wow.
I've never taken my 2 out of the box. No, that's not true. I have a Strike Fire 2 on a shotgun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I forgot about that gun. Shoot. That's a very good point, Mark. And red dots have never been better as they are now. The tech now that we can, and this isn't that long ago that all of a sudden emitter technology got to the point where it was consumer affordable and your battery life is measured in tens of thousands of hours.
Yep.
Durability is bananas. We were talking about the release of the CCW. That was in 2023. Yep. It's coming up on 3 years.
Yeah.
That time flies.
It does. That's crazy to think about. And that was in development for quite a while before that even. So, yeah.
So it's pretty cool what the consumer can get now for $199, and one that we're excited to talk about and we're excited to recommend and personally own. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a hard time telling myself I need to buy a Defender version.
Yeah. You get a lot of dot
elevator pitch
you get a lot of dot with the Venom. Some things that might convince you to step up to the Defender series. You're going to get 70-75 aluminum versus 60-61, so better toughness. That'll be important in drop and racking and banging it and things like that. You've also got the fast rack texture on the front, which is kind of a key design feature of the Defender series. So any slick surfaces, that's going to help grab onto that if you need to rack on that. You've also got a solar panel on the top. So similar to our Spark Solar, this is going to run primary off the panel, secondary off the battery on the power draw. So if you're outside really, or even inside at lower intensity settings, you're going to be just barely sipping on the battery to run the unit. And it seamlessly switches between those, so you don't have to do anything as the user. Just know that if you've got a good light source ambient, that's going to reduce the battery draw.
It's an important distinction, though. The solar panel isn't charging the battery. It is an independent power source, yes?
That's right. That's right. So it's like you've got two power sources. I'm going to pull from this one, the solar panel first, and then if I can only get 80% of the requested power out of that solar panel, I'm going to then provide the remainder of that 20% with the battery. And then the other thing, too, and probably most notable, there's a selectable reticle in this one. So you've got the option of doing a dot only. It's a 3 MOA dot. And then you've got a 32 MOA circle around that, which you can also configure to be an open center as well. Some people like that as a reticle option. So those are some of the key differences between the two. You also get a little bit larger window size on the ST compared to the Venom, the Defender ST compared to the Venom enclosed here. So, and a little bit lower rear deck height as well. So you might have a little bit better chance of co-witnessing with iron sights than you would on the Venom.
Gotcha. And then with the Defender enclosed, there are two sizes. You have the CC Dub and the ST, right?
That's correct. Yep. And so essentially the same features. The CCW is just going to be a smaller form factor, smaller window, lower price point, 'cause less glass and materials. And then also a difference between the two Defender models. The CCW, you'll still get a Picatinny mount, but you'll get a 1 degree shim plate instead of the Glock MOS plate like you do on the enclosed ST.
Sure. Same fitment, by the way, for those listening, as the open style Defenders. So if you have a SIG P365, a Glock 43X, a Smith & Wesson Shield, CCW drop right on the slide, and then everything that the other STs did drops right in.
That's right.
So super groovy.
It's cool stuff. What a wonderful world we live in these days.
Another note, not just for pistols.
Correct.
You got a turkey gun, a deer rifle, an AR, whatever you want, it'll fit.
That's right. Yeah, I've got a couple of Venoms as offset dot or 12 o'clock dots on ARs, and then enclosed Defenders on my carry guns. Been happy with all of them and everything that I put them through.
Yeah, I think one of those is going to have to make its way to the GHM9.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah,
Maybe right at home there.
I know.
It would look good on there too.
I know.
I think it'd really enjoy itself.
I think it would.
Rob, you said they've handled everything you've thrown at them. Any unique testing stories with these things?
I don't know about anything unique. When we developed the whole open Defender platform, we also developed a whole bunch of test standards to go along with it. That was pretty abusive. I can't.
It's a wonderful understatement.
I guess that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, they've gone through tens of thousands of rounds of both simulated and live fire testing, drops, environmental, hot, cold, immersion, pretty much anything that we either saw other people doing or we dreamed up to do, we did to these. And so you'll also enjoy a little bit better durability on the enclosed version of the Defenders compared to the open versions.
Which are outstanding.
Yeah.
Like the open emitter versions they're bonkers tough.
We went through so many design iterations on those, and we learned so much on that whole program. We were able to apply that to kind of what we've developed here, which helped to speed up the development comparatively to those open models.
That is one of my favorite stories to tell people.
Yeah, we got the whole red dot board. Yeah,
the board. Which what do you suppose it is? 36 inches.
Oh yeah. I think we went through 16 different design iterations to optimize housing geometry and material and a variety of other things.
And the time into that to make that dot as inherently tough as it is now is just awesome. And so whenever we have folks coming to the showroom, we're on the phone and they're like, "How do you test these things?" I'm like, "Well, you got a minute? Let me tell you."
Yeah.
Let's turn the clock back 6 years and go through the whole thing. It was marvelous to be part of. You think that doing that much live fire testing would be fun until there's one Glock on the table and 50 magazines.
Yep.
And Kellen with a clipboard saying, "Yeah, go ahead whenever you're ready." And you're very tired by about number 17.
Yeah. It was funny to see the sign up sheet for, all the live fire testing. Cause when, early on in the program, people are like, oh yeah, cool. New product. Like, let me sign up for this. And we got like a little scheduling thing to do it. And then you
probably turning people away and first.
And it's like, oh, well, I'll get in on the next one. It's like, you sure will. Because as much fun as it is to just send rounds downrange, it does get a little monotonous. And then especially, too, when you're doing some of the heavier recoiling stuff like the 300 Wisdom or the Scar or something like that. I mean, different than pistol, but the pistol still can get pretty
taxing.
Yeah, because it's a lot of rounds. A lot of rounds that we have to shoot.
Guys coming up and their thumbs were like swollen and red, and then also their hands were black.
That's right.
I know what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the durability really is crazy when you think what these optics have to put up with. I think I dropped the TV remote the other day, and the battery compartment came flying off and batteries skittered across the floor. It wasn't, a huge impact.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And so, when we're testing it, it's on a loaded, like a full magazine gun, either a Glock 19 for the CCW or a 17 for the ST and the Venom, inert rounds. But, dropping that onto concrete and seeing how that does. And we've got pass and fail criteria for that. But very happy with how these turned out. And yeah, much different test environment than dropping a remote on what I presume to be carpet or maybe hardwood or something like that.
Do you remember the Nokia phones, the brick phones that when you dropped them, they exploded, like the faceplate came off, the rubber buttons came off, the battery came out, and everything separated in like a 360 degree. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you just reassembled it and continued to play Snake.
Yeah. I wish I still had that phone. I think I when I moved to Wisconsin, I was like, I'm not going to use this thing again. I think I just threw it away.
I still have mine.
I just think it'd be so cool to just break that thing out. Back. But this is how I live.
You could.
My girls wouldn't even know what that is.
Nope. They think it's a TV remote.
To them, that's a Zach Morris phone.
I don't know who Zach Morris is.
What? You know Saved by the Bell?
Oh, sorry, man.
All right.
He's on the,
It's a brick phone on that one.
Yeah, it sounds more like a country music artist.
You're not wrong, really, but
a little hip hop in there, a little auto tune, not a much.
Just when it was starting to get popular. Rob, anything else with these things? I mean, I don't think we missed a whole lot other than and we covered that. They are super cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how they turned out. The team's really psyched about it as well. I hope customers like it as well. Sorry for the wait. We heard you guys, and we were just working on it, and I hope that you enjoyed as much as we enjoyed working on them. So.
For sure. And I think it's like, a wait, but as evidenced by the process that you just outlined, these are things you want to do right.
Yeah, for sure.
And that takes time.
Yeah. It was really interesting to see as we were going through and characterizing kind of the severity of recoil events, how much harsher a slide ride optic is than on like an AR.
Yeah.
And that was something interesting to learn. And you might not think, like a 9mm handgun doesn't recoil as much as like a SCAR does. But you've got this crazy event where the sight, the optic is changing direction like immediately.
Yeah.
And when it's mounted onto a carbine, it's you don't have that mass reciprocation going on like you do with a slide. So there's a lot of interesting things. Again, going back to the original Defender project that we learned, that was eye-opening. I always love learning stuff and never know what I'm going to learn. But.
That one was too, because we were under the assumption at a time that a lighter slide.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a really specific case in point was a Tanfoglio 9mm with a lightened slide.
Mm-hmm. I remember that gun, yeah.
We thought that had to have been the worst possible scenario for a .2 encounter, because the slide mass was already reduced because it's a Tanfoglio, so the frame is around the slide, and so the slide is narrower. And then the slide had a whole bunch of lightning cuts in it, and then it had spring rate reduction so as to soften felt recoil. The reality is that one was one of the more gentle ones. And we found out like the Glock 19 and the FN 509 were the most aggressive, short barrels, short slides, full-size frames. And it was all acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, because like on maybe like a typical bolt-action platform, like a lightweight, like high caliber is going to be a little bit more hard on optic, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the speed and the distance that slide had to move, and in the time that it happened.
Yeah. So if you think about like maybe not a perfect analogy, but in a car crash, you got the crumple zone in the front of the car, which lengthens the time of that acceleration event. So when you have these shorter kind of upper ends, it's all happening much faster. So it's like more force is being transferred because the acceleration is happening over a shorter distance. The same kind of event is happening over a shorter distance.
It's like we were talking about in an upcoming cartridge talks, in which we dive deep into
what we were doing a couple days ago.
That's right. The recoil impulse on that particular style of pistol that we're talking about, most specifically the Glock 45 that we tested, is faster, and it requires less recovery catch and less recovery correction on the like the closing of the slide, the into battery, than say my 17L does. So I fire my 17L, I got this big long recoil impulse, and it's like, oh gosh, and then it comes forward, and then it's oh gosh again. Where that 45 is like right there.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Physics side, I guess.
Sure, that's why we have Kellens and Robs.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thanks everybody for listening. Like I said, this is a new product alert. Go check them out at your local retailer. The Venom enclosed micro red dot, practice my words, in 3 and 6 MOA, and the Defender CC Dub and ST enclosed solar micro red dots. Check them out. Until next time, happy hunting and shooting. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.